Welcome to That 90s Pod. Today we're going deep, on the legacy of Selena Quintanilla.
The Queen of Tejano music.
That's right. We're going to uncover how she rose to stardom in the 90s.
And left an indelible mark on music and culture.
Exactly. If you love what you hear today, hit that subscribe button and tell your friends about That 90s Pod.
The 90s music scene was a real melting pot.
Here's what it was.
Hip-hop was on the rise, pop was evolving, and grunge was about to explode. But amidst all that, Latinx representation was pretty limited.
Yeah, so into this dynamic scene steps Selena, blending Tejano music with these pop sensibilities.
Right.
For those who might not be familiar, could you break down Tejano music for us?
Sure. Think of it as a vibrant fusion of Mexican and American influences. You've got those traditional Mexican sounds blended with polka country, even some rock elements.
Wow.
It's high energy and deeply rooted in that Mexican-American experience.
And Selena's early years were steeped in Tejano music. Her family band provided that foundation.
Absolutely. She started performing so young, that early immersion is really evident in her music.
Totally.
A clear connection to her roots.
Then comes 1990. And her album, Ven Conmigo, this wasn't just another album, it was a defining moment.
It was a game changer.
It really was.
Ven Conmigo launched Selena into stardom, and it set a new standard for Tejano music. This was the moment people realized that Latin music had a place on the main stage.
By the mid-90s, her popularity was undeniable. Huge crowds, awards recognition beyond the Tejano world.
Oh, yeah.
It's as though she was breaking down walls.
Oh.
What do you think was the key to her crossover success?
I think Selena's blend of Tejano and pop was revolutionary. This fusion attracted a broader audience, particularly English-speaking listeners who weren't familiar with Tejano music.
Right.
Her label also strategically targeted English radio, which further broadened her reach. Songs like Dreaming of You, with its bilingual appeal, were truly groundbreaking at the time.
It's like Como La Flor and Beady Beady Bom Bom weren't just catchy. They introduced a new sound, a new vibe to the mainstream. Yeah.
And it wasn't just about the music. While introducing English-speaking audiences to Latin culture, she also instilled a sense of pride within the Latinx community.
Absolutely.
Her music deeply resonated with their lived experiences, their dreams, their aspirations, becoming a powerful statement of identity.
Speaking of Selena's unique style, let's face it, she was a fashion icon.
Oh, yeah.
The bedazzled bustiers, that purple jumpsuit. What made her style so captivating?
Selena masterfully blended Tex-Mex influences with high fashion trends. It was bold, glamorous, and it defied genre conventions.
It did.
Her style, much like her music, transcended boundaries, making her a symbol of individuality and empowerment.
It's like she was saying, this is me, I'm talented, I'm proud, and I'm not afraid to shine. That's incredibly powerful.
It is.
And speaking of powerful, let's take a quick break to remind you, if you're enjoying this deep dive, hit that subscribe button and share the podcast with your friends.
We'll be back in a flash with more on Selena's incredible journey. Welcome back to That 90s Pod. We're continuing our exploration of Selena's impact, digging deeper into the woman behind the icon.
One thing that always stood out to me was Selena's genuine connection with her fans. It went beyond performing. It felt like she was building a community.
You're right. It wasn't just about the music. It was about shared experiences.
Yeah.
Her concerts were these celebrations of culture and identity where everyone felt seen and heard, and that feeling transcended language barriers. It spoke to universal human experiences, love, loss, joy, resilience.
Speaking of resilience, she faced some real challenges breaking into the mainstream as a Latina artist in the 90s.
Absolutely. Back then, the music industry wasn't as diverse as it is today. Selena had to overcome prejudice and stereotypes to prove that her music and her culture deserved a place on the world stage. But she did it with grace and determination. She never lost sight of her dreams.
That journey is so inspiring, proving that even amidst adversity, you can achieve great things if you stay true to yourself. And her success opened doors for so many other Latinx artists.
Think about the impact before Selena. There weren't many Latinx artists who had achieved mainstream success in the United States. Her breakthrough really paved the way for a new generation, inspiring them to embrace their heritage and share their stories with the world.
It's amazing to see how much the music industry has changed since Selena's time. Artists like Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, Ricky Martin, they've all built upon the foundation she laid.
Her influence goes beyond music, too. Think about fashion television film. She became a cultural phenomenon.
She did.
She proved that Latinx stories and talent deserve to be celebrated, and we've come a long way since then, but her legacy reminds us that progress takes time and effort and the courage to challenge the status quo.
Let's shift gears for a moment and talk about Selena's personal life behind the dazzling stage persona. She was a daughter, a sister, a wife, a friend.
Selena was so deeply rooted in family. You know, they were her support system, her collaborators, her everything. Her father was her manager, her brother was her guitarist, her sister was her backup singer. It was a true family affair built on love and support.
That closeness is palpable. Even today, and beyond her family, she was known for her kindness, her generosity, her down-to-earth personality. Despite her fame, she remained grounded, which made her even more relatable to fans.
She had this infectious energy, this radiant smile that just drew people in. Selena was genuine and approachable, and she radiated joy.
She really did.
And that resonated with people. It allowed them to connect with her on a deeper level.
Okay, I have to ask, what's your favorite Selena song? I know it's a tough choice, but I'm curious.
That is a difficult one. There's
Wow.
so many classics, but if I had to choose, I'd say Dreaming of You.
Wow.
It's a hauntingly beautiful song, showcasing her incredible vocal range.
Such a powerful choice, especially considering it was released posthumously. It's a bittersweet reminder of her talent and the legacy she left behind. Now, before we jump into the final part of our deep dive, we want to remind you, if you're loving this episode, hit that subscribe button and tell your friends about that 90s pod. We'll be right back to wrap up our exploration of Selena's incredible life and enduring influence. Welcome back to that 90s pod. As we wrap up our deep dive into Selena's world, it's striking how timeless her appeal remains. Her music style and story, they continue to resonate across generations. It's more than just nostalgia, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Selena captured the spirit of a generation coming of age in the 90s. It was a time of change, of challenging norms, of embracing cultural identity. And her legacy continues to inspire that same spirit today.
And her legacy is being honored and celebrated in so many ways. There's the Selena Museum in Corpus Christi, a true pilgrimage site for fans worldwide.
And the tributes, documentaries, biographical projects, they keep her story alive. The 1997 biopic starring Jennifer Lopez introduced Selena to a whole new generation and became a classic in its own right.
And of course, her music, it's still everywhere on the radio, online, covered by artists across genres. It's become woven into the soundtrack of our lives.
Her music truly transcends time and place. It can evoke such a range of emotions, whether you grew up listening to her or discovered her later. There's a connection there.
Selena broke down barriers, challenged stereotypes, and showed the world that Latinx culture was something to be celebrated. Her impact on music, fashion, and pop culture is undeniable.
And she did it all while staying true to herself and her roots. It's a reminder that one person can truly make a difference, that dreams are worth pursuing, and that music can unite us across cultures.
As we reflect on Selena's journey, I can't help but wonder what she would be doing today if her life hadn't been cut short.
It's hard not to imagine her continuing to break musical boundaries, experimenting with new sounds, collaborating with diverse artists. She was always pushing creative limits, and I have no doubt her music would have continued to evolve in exciting ways.
And knowing her entrepreneurial spirit, I bet she would have expanded her fashion empire, becoming a global force in the design world. She had a vision, a drive that was truly remarkable.
Beyond her career, I believe Selena would have continued to use her platform to advocate for social justice, especially within the Latinx community. She was such a powerful role model, and her activism would have undoubtedly made a real difference in the world.
It's bittersweet to think about all the possibilities,
Yeah.
but it also highlights how impactful her legacy remains. We're still talking about her, celebrating her, and learning from her. Selena's spirit lives on.
Her music continues to inspire her style, continues to influence, and her story reminds us of the importance of dreams, representation, and embracing our heritage.
Beautifully said. That wraps up our deep dive into the extraordinary life of Selena Quintanilla. We hope you enjoyed the journey.
And if you did, be sure to subscribe to that 90s pod and share it with your friends. We'll catch you next time for another trip back in time.
Until then, keep it real, keep it retro, and stay awesome.